Today, I did the most important thing that you can do in crypto, and that's making a plan and writing it down. And I just want to share my plan with you. If you're going to execute the same plan, it's totally up to you. You do whatever you want. I want to be transparent about what I'm going to do because we get an opportunity right here, right? And it is really easy to fuck an opportunity up. So let's get into that. Welcome to the Fomo Factory. If you like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn the bell notification on, and let's get into it. So what I have said a couple times already is that I have two big buying levels for my altcoin bags, right? That's this trend line right here, right? This was my first big purchase. We're now a little below that. And my second one, that's this red box right here. Now, very quickly to explain why that red box would correspond with a 70% drop, and that would be the same as the COVID crash. We did every move. We went down into the bear market. We went up a couple 100%. We went down 60%. We went up with 100-ish%, and then we went down with 70%. Here in this market, it feels different, but so far we're kind of doing the same. We went down in the bear market, we went up with a couple 100%, we went down with 60%, we went up with a couple 100% again, and so far we went down 60% instead of 70. Now, if we take it from the top and we go down 70%, that would put us into that red box. And that would be kind of the COVID level of 2025. And we all know that COVID gave us two things, right? Or basically, it gave us one thing, and that's a huge opportunity, right? And most people, they didn't take it. It was scary, it was different, it was over, and they didn't buy, they maybe sold even. But the people who bought right here, they made the sickest gains of their life, actually. There was an insane bull market. And I see no reason why this time will be anything different if we get there. Now, again, that's an if. I don't know if we are going to get there. But I've drawn this, I don't know how long ago. And so far, yeah, I mean, we are getting closer. So it could definitely happen, right? Now, again, this video is not about me predicting if we get there or not, but we should consider that, hey, we could get there, right? If we get there, then what are you going to do? Are you going to get yourself wrecked, or are you going to take the legendary opportunity that we are getting? I think that if you, I think most people will probably understand that this is an opportunity that we should take, right? I also want to combine this video a little bit with some comments that I got on the channel, because I get it. There's a lot of fear going on. There's a lot of FUD going on. And you'll now really notice as people are just getting mad with me, like I do something fucking wrong for your bags, right? Like, so guys, chill. All right. I just want to make sure that everybody has the right mindset right here. Okay. Low prices are to buy, right? Not to freak out, curse at YouTubers or whatever. And high prices are to sell. You could try to do it the other way around. Show me a time where that worked, right? Like, it doesn't work. So what is my plan? Well, my plan is this. If we get here, do we have a lot of time to think? Maybe, maybe not, right? But there's a maybe not, right? If we look at COVID, you can see this was a huge wick, right? We spent this part, we had a couple weeks right here, right? But overall, if you wanted to get 35% cheaper coins, yeah, then you had to act fast. Right now, you might feel like, yeah, well, 35% tomato, let's not try to time the bottom. Definitely, let's not try to time it. But the closer we can get, the better, right? If you would have bought here, hey, you did fantastic. You cannot complain, man. You made a 4,500% gain from that entry to the top, right? However, you see that 35% difference is 7,000%, right? So that's life-changing difference, right? Now, let's say that we get there and that it will be a wick. You want to be ready. So what I want to recommend that, like, hypothetically, if that's going to happen, what would I recommend? Have a list of coins, and I'm going to show you the coins. I'm going to show you what my plan is, but have a list with coins that you feel like they won't die, right? You don't know, anything can die, but I also know that if I look at meme coin rank 4,500 against Ethereum, hey, which one is more likely to die, right? We do know that. You don't have to think about the risk or the reward right here. Like, oh, which gonna give me more rewards, bro? When we get here, every safe altcoin is gonna be fucking rewarding, right? So that's not even. We don't have to think about that. That's the beauty, right? So let's only think about the risk, and therefore I would say, make a plan. Have a amount of coins, 5, maybe 10, depending on your portfolio size, that you feel like, you know what, these coins, I feel comfortable with them, right? And I'm gonna give you my coins that I feel comfortable with. And if we get here, then they're all at least going to 5x, right? But that's a big fucking at least. I actually more want to say 10 because you have to understand 10x, 10x. Look, when everybody was talking about 10x's right here, nobody was surprised, right? But when you're actually down so much, then 10xing is of course way more realistic because it has more upside. So yeah, then we can talk about it, right? And if you now going to listen to these YouTubers again that tell you this is the next 1000x altcoin, right? Block him. All right, fuck him. Like that's what you don't want to do. But you also don't want to be nah, this can't happen, that can't happen. Like, don't set the bar too low. That's also a mistake that you can make. If you then have your coins, make sure that you already have your money on the right networks, that you have enough gas fees. Don't necessarily have it all on the Trezor because, yes, that's safer. Then again, if the market moves that fast, you have to walk to your computer, go get your Trezor. Maybe you're in an office somewhere, I don't know, right? Make sure you will be able to buy within an hour if it happens, right? You can also set limit orders on exchanges. But still, if the market goes down that much, you don't know what exchanges are going to do, right? Maybe exchanges feel like, fuck this, I'm out, right? Be careful at all times, safety first, right? So I'm gonna give you my list of 10 coins that I feel comfortable with, right? Is that me saying that these are the best altcoins? No, not at all. Just the 10 coins that I feel comfortable with. First off, quick sentiment check, okay? I don't want to go over all the negativity, but it's pretty interesting to see that, well, one, if we look at crypto and the people that are actually in crypto right now, right? The social metrics, YouTube viewers, subscribers, etc. Really low. What's really low? Bear market low. Bear market low, right? Does the market ever top out on low sentiment? Well, again, you can always put a label. Well, this is different. This is different. This is different. I don't know. Never worked, right? Market usually tops out on sentiment being very well. Matter of fact, if you look, Bitcoin topped, right? But when did the sentiment top? When did social metrics top? A month later, right? So, yeah, there are not a lot of people in crypto, which is freaking bullish, right? We are at a place where there is low interest, aka low prices, and then when there's high interest, aka high prices, we can sell, right? Sometimes feel like I have to explain like the basics, but sometimes I also feel like some people, they come to the channel like they didn't join that long ago and they're freaking out. And I want to make sure that you all know, like, hey, being down, it sucks, but there's also opportunity to it, right? There's a big opportunity to it. So, but one, there are not a lot of people. Two, a lot of people that are here are saying this. You don't know if it's going to dip more. We might be going into a recession, and you whatever. And that's not even the worst comment because I don't know if what's going to happen, and I never say that I do know what's going to happen. Matter of fact, I would highly suggest you that if anybody tells you that they know what's going to happen, make sure that they don't appear on your timeline. Block them, right? Because that would be completely idiotic. Like, that's literally saying I am from the future. Fine, DeLorean, but I'm not, right? So I don't know what's going to happen. Maybe there will be a recession, maybe. That's not the case, right? It's about this scenario is possible, that scenario is possible. Where are you going to place your bets, right? And what's the best bet to take, right? The fact that I am talking bullish about altcoins at these times, it might not work out. Definitely. But this is, I think, way better than being bullish on altcoins here, right? Because from what point do we have more downsides, from here or from here, right? We all know that, right? So yeah, it can go down and we might invest in something that we lose. But then again, you're looking at a crypto channel. Like, if you don't like the fact that something can go down, then why have you put your interest in something crypto related in the first place, right? But it's also about the fact that we now have more upside than what we had over here. But here we went up, right? So here it felt like we had more upside. But in reality, here we have more upside, of course, right? So make sure, guys, that you are bullish at low prices and take profits at high prices, right? And it sounds, you might hear this and be like, yeah, duh. Look at the comment section. Nobody knows how to apply it, actually. It's hard. It's really hard, apparently, right? And I appreciate the people that are here and have hope. I get that it's hard for people, but I appreciate the optimism from people, because that is going to separate you from the people that lose, right? Again, if you think that the sentiment here is bad, yeah, here we know what's going on. Here we know what to expect. The macro is pretty obvious, right? We know how the Fed, well, we know, we have a pretty clear, how do you say this? It is getting more obvious how the Fed is going to respond to what's going on, right? And how that affects the markets. Here during COVID, it was one cycle earlier, so we had less history, so it felt less comfortable, right? Now we know, like, hey, Bitcoin is there to stay, but altcoins are also in a macro uptrend, like, it's there to stay. But apart from that, here we crashed from there to nowhere in no time. People were like, what the fuck was that? This is over, right? And yet, even there, when the whole world was on fire, some people realized, if I buy right now, damn, right? And look, there we go. So I do feel like, man, if you can't handle this already, then get out of crypto, because it's not really the hardest time to be in crypto right now, actually. Right? It's not, right? It sucks if you're underwater. I get that. I'm in the loss too, I think. But then again, I feel like, yeah, I mean, it's low. I don't know how to explain it anymore. Anyway, someone said, I'm excited to follow your strategy during the actual bear market. I want to know what to do with my money on the way down. I'm here with you too. Minnow, it's Menno, but thanks. Yeah, all I can say for now is in an actual bear market, just be completely out of crypto. Don't even bother, right? And I get that some people now don't want to type like, it is a bear market. Depends. For a lot of coins, it is. For Bitcoin, it isn't. For altcoins on the Bitcoin pairs, it is. But for the top 125 altcoins, it isn't. It depends. There is not a bull or bear. It depends on the asset. Yeah, and this is kind of painful because somebody said, and I think that a lot of people are actually doing this, but most people are not telling this, but somebody said, in all honesty, I sold because a big crash is coming more, right? And look, the thing is that if you look at the altcoin chart, right, he did that yesterday, so that so far didn't turn out really well, but hey, maybe time will tell. Look, if you sold months ago, because you thought that a big crash was going to happen, then congratulations, turned out very well. But I do, at this stage of the market, feel like, man, the market has been going down for 4 months. Now everything is oversold. Now we have perspective from the Fed. Now the tariffs news is actually already there, right? And now we're gonna sell? And I feel like, oh yeah, okay, risky, right? Because there's also a lot of risk being out of the market, right? Because at a certain point, this is an opportunity that we are getting. And do you want to let that slide? Probably not. So what's left there for you to do? Buy back higher, right? At times like these, I feel like, man, if you are all in and you feel like, oh man, I want to get something out of it, so I will sell in the hope that it will go lower. You can try. It won't be the first thing I would recommend. But in all honesty, for you, man, I hope it works out. But yeah. So somebody said it's over. Eric Crown was right. And Eric Crown, he said in a recent video that he thought that the 4-year cycle is over. I have my, I don't know if you guys watch Eric Crown, by the way. On one hand, I feel like Eric Crown, for his Bitcoin analysis, he knows his stuff. He's good at analysis when it comes to Bitcoin. He looks at the right charts. On the other hand, I do feel like when he talks about altcoins, he talks like he came into crypto yesterday. He doesn't even know how to pronounce these altcoins. He says things about certain charts like this is everything excluding Bitcoin, Ethereum, and stables, while stables are included, for example. Like the most common things. And then I do feel like, sometimes when he says something, I feel like, do you know about crypto or do you know about charting? Because I think he has a more financial background. And I think that that's where he gets his information from mostly. But all in all, we'll see. Maybe he's right, maybe he's not. I don't know. Nobody knows. We'll know eventually. But I don't think it's over. And I do think it's a little too soon to say, like, what's over, right? Like, just look purely at Bitcoin, right? Altcoins are following Bitcoin eventually. So we can look at Bitcoin and look like what's going on. And I feel like, can we really look at this chart and say, it's over? It's a bear market, right? End of the cycle so far, end of 2013, end of 2017, end of 2021, here, end of 2024, right? Not 4, but 3 years, right? So far, higher lows, still in the uptrend. I don't see it, really. And I don't want to overcomplicate it, but I don't see it based on this chart. Yeah, I have a really hard time seeing why this should be over, actually. And maybe it is, but that's the thing. That's what we're betting on, right? You are betting on the fact that it's over. I'm betting on the fact that it's not over. And I think that the smartest thing to do is put your chips on the fastest horse, right? And yeah, if I look what the fastest horse is, I don't see why the cycle being over is the fastest horse, actually. Is it because we haven't had an alt season yet? Right? Well, yeah, I mean, like in 2017, it started last month, right? So what's a month difference with 4 years? Like, is that already to be called over? Or is it because altcoins went down 80%? Yeah, also in 2017, they went down 98%, still wasn't over. So I don't see it. Again, doesn't mean that I'm right, but who knows? I don't know. We're gonna find out, man. Somebody basically asked, where's all the money gonna come from? And although it's not my field really, but mostly from stable coins, right? For altcoins to go up. From stable coins, Bitcoin, higher caps, right? A lot of people still have money in Solana. At a certain point, they want to go riskier, maybe, XRP. Loans, right? At a certain point, it will be easier for people to take loans again. Yeah, and they have more room to take risk. money printing mostly. Like, where is all the money coming from? Well, literally from money printing, and that will go on forever. So that's yeah, where the money is coming from, that's never an issue. The money is really getting printed from thin air. Um, yeah, and then there's a lot of people kind of getting mad with me lately for being optimistic. I don't know. Oh yeah, somebody said Bitcoin never retested 31.8 area, 31.8K, I think. In this cycle, it didn't. Yeah, I think you mean this right here, right? 31.8 right here, and it went up, never retested. Is that your suggestion that it never, or that it should or can go down there? It seems too far of a fall for me to call it a retest. I would call that a bear market if we get there. And then again, look, if it, not in this cycle, right? But if you look right here, we broke out of 31 and we retested it here, right? But then again, if you look at full history of Bitcoin, we don't have to have retests, right? If you look at the beginning, for example, here Bitcoin was $1, right? We never retested that. Yeah. Does it mean we have to go back to $1? Fuck yeah. No, if we get back there, then probably something's not right anymore. But yeah. So the strategy for me, very simple. One, step by step, have the conviction in the market. But again, guys, if you are here and if you feel like, fuck you, sir, then I do feel like, why are you here in the first place? If you hate crypto so much and if you don't believe it at all, the people that actually don't believe are just not here, right? So there is something which makes you still stick around. So, but whatever, man. Conviction first, conviction, man. Believe in the market, right? Otherwise, buying low will never feel great for you. Right? Second, making your list. Make sure that you know what to buy whenever the market gets down, if it gets down that much. Again, we already saw 60% of the 70%. So you might feel like, oh, just 10% to go. Yeah, no, from this point, it's another 30%, right? On the high caps. So if that happens, yeah, your low caps won't look nice. But again, who knows? Maybe not, right? But that would be my ultimate order. That would be life-changing money right here in a positive way. Then, if you have your plan, write it down somewhere so you don't have to think about it whenever the time comes. And that's for two good reasons. One, again, you don't have time to think by then. Two, whenever it happens, you will be emotional. No matter how great of a trader you are, an investor, you will feel something, right? So now that everything is quite calm in your head, for most people maybe, mine is never calm, I'm always fucked up. But now that you're quite calm in your head, now you can actually think about, okay, what coins do I feel comfortable? Which one have a good revenue stream, have a good utility that's being used? What will stay around, right? Just use that. Use your common sense, write it down in the moment when you cannot, achieve some common sense. All right, that way you will always be rational. My list. So I have them in my 2025 altcoin portfolio. Let's go. I'm gonna pause the video, taking a weird ass pill. All right, so we can keep that ADHD in check. Now, this is a list not with all coins that I'm necessarily buying or buying right now, but it's more of a list with coins that I feel like I am quite interested to watch them at least, and most for buying though. So what I want to say first is, if I don't mention the coin, doesn't mean that it's a bad project or whatever, but in times where the market drops that much, you will be surprised how many projects can die. And you just don't want to have your money in there, right? So let's try to create a list that have as few of these projects within it, okay? Not with none, because you cannot do the perfect, of course. Number one is for me Ethereum. And I have 10, by the way. But number one is for me Ethereum, right? Now, why is number one Ethereum for me? Because Ethereum is freaking Ethereum. Ethereum is I don't know if I have to explain this, but Ethereum is the most likely altcoin, in my opinion, that's there to stay. And although we have people saying that Ethereum is dead, um, yeah, if everything that's that we should rule out, then we have zero opportunities, right? I hope you get what I'm saying. So Ethereum will definitely be in my list. Also, because if you look, it's underperforming against everything so far. That's pretty cool. That's an opportunity for me. It's not only underperforming against Bitcoin, right? Like this is Ethereum against Bitcoin and this normal behavior, right? You might feel like, oh, it's that. Yeah, in the last bear market, it went down with 90%, right? So far, Ethereum is down with 77%. So if it wasn't dead here, then why the fuck is it dead here, right? Makes zero sense if you ask me. But also, if you look how altcoins are doing against Ethereum, look at this. Altcoins haven't been performing well, right? But they have been outperforming Ethereum, right? It's just because, yeah, Ethereum just goes down harder right now overall, right? So I feel like, hey, the opportunity to buy Ethereum is better and the risk is lower. So beautiful. Ethereum is for me a no-brainer. Now, what's the price? Again, I don't know. If this chart gets here, you can calculate like, oh, this will be down another 30%, right? In the last 30% that it went down, that's from, I don't know, whatever, how much did Ethereum go down? But then again, you'll never really know. So I'm going to just look whenever we get here, whatever the prices of these altcoins are, I'm going to buy them, right? I don't set price targets for specific altcoins necessarily. But I think that if we get there, then that might line up with a $1,100 Ethereum, maybe. I don't know. And that's then pretty cool because Ethereum, in my opinion, 6K is the least what I expect for this cycle. So if you can get it at $1,100 and you ride it to 6K, it's a 5.5x on the lowest risk altcoin. That should be everything. That should be it. Done, right? Like, that's it. Next one, Render. Render, yeah, bro, like, man, I mean, Render is already $3. I think Render is there to stay for sure. It has shown that it's been such an outperformer like crazy during every single phase of every market cycle whatsoever. It's been a winner. It's been a real winner. Really insane. So yeah, Render is on my list, definitely. I'm also very comfortable buying Near. I like Near a lot right now. I know that Near had a big hype a couple months ago, and I wasn't really that interested. And if you look at Near on its Bitcoin pair right now, it made a new all-time low right now, right? It's sitting at an all-time low. You might feel, all-time low, it's that. Again, maybe, or it is the sickest opportunity ever because in the past there were multiple coins that were sitting at an all-time low that were called that, and then in a bull market it went up 15,000%, right? So hey, in that case I'd rather buy a Near than a whatever the fuck for kind of shit coin, right? Next one is Seedify. Now, one it's not all the same risk in this list, right? Of course, Ethereum safest, and I think that Near is pretty safe as well. Render slightly less safe, but also pretty safe. Seedify is of course a lot riskier, but then again more rewarding. But I will probably buy more of the low risk altcoins. But it also depends on your goals. If you need a 5x to achieve your goals, don't buy coins that can do a 20x because they can also go down harder. Then just buy the low risk coins, right? You have achieved your goal, didn't take a lot of risk, easy peasy. But Seedify, definitely. I think that Seedify is now already really cheap, by the way. But it broke support. Let's see where it can go. If the market gets there, then Seedify might retest these levels. Yeah, insane. Again, going back from this point to its non-alt season cycle high, not even all-time high, but cycle high, is already an 11x, right? You have to understand that. We don't need alt season for that, okay? We saw without alt season, it can do it. If it does get here, right? Or let's say here this wick, right? And it goes there, then it's a 19x, right? My end goal doesn't change based on where it goes in the meantime. I think a lot of people they see like, oh, it goes down, so it will never go there again. No, that's not like I see lower entries, so more rewards in that case. But Ethereum layer one, we had near AI layer one, we have rendering AI, GPU. We have Seedify. Did I skip one? No, we have Seedify, Launchpad. Then I have Chain GPT, also Launchpad, showed that it was a huge outperformer in this market as well. I stepped into the IDO. This thing did fantastic, man. This was absolutely incredible what it did. 70x, had a good allocation. Shout out to Seedify for putting up this IDO. Made insane money with this one. Talked about this on the channel as well long ago. I don't know if you were there, but crazy. But this is one of the fewer IDO coins that I buy on the market as well right now. Sitting at insane prices. Insane. This is such a great platform. I love it. Then we have AVAX, layer one. AVAX, there to stay, man. I'm not really want to like go over every coin, what it is and what it does, but AVAX has it all when it comes to gaming. I think that gaming is going to be huge, actually. And, you know, the thing is like, the question is when, right? Gaming already had a big run, certain projects this cycle, but the overall gaming bull, yeah, that's yet to happen. But yeah, building good games and gaming infrastructures, that takes like a long time. And if it's gonna happen this cycle, I don't know. It will probably have its moment, but the real gaming boom, I can maybe see it happen in a cycle from now. Nevertheless, enough about gaming. AVAX, fuck yeah, definitely. Let's say that it goes to, when it's now 17, let's say it goes to like, yeah, bear market lows again, right? And we go back to, so let's say we go to cycle lows and we go back to cycle highs. Again, I'm comparing to cycle highs, right? Not counting in the fact that an alt season is still likely to happen this cycle. I'm just saying back to non-alt season cycle highs. Conservative as fuck, if you ask me, right? But then on a low-risk altcoin, you pull off a 7.5x. That should be everything you need, man. It's crazy, right? Super, also that I will feel pretty comfortable buying, actually. Super showed like, ooh, no gaming run. Here you go. Outperformed every fucking niche out there, right? Insane. Super insane. When gaming takes off, Super is going to absolutely go crazy. It's integrated, their token is integrated in every game. You can pay your in-game items with Super. I know it doesn't sound interesting right now as gaming is not hot, but, you know, go back to the moment where it was hot a little bit. Try to compare that to the fact that it's going to be really hot probably. Then Super is going to be insane, right? So I do think that this is like one day, this could be the one that plays out for a long while. Again, maybe next cycle. But if this is still around by then, this is going to be probably the biggest winner among all the average altcoins out there. By far, I think. So, yeah. Beam. Beam is, I think that Beam is going to also be somewhat of the flagship of this whole gaming niche. And you might feel like, hey, you're still betting on gaming. Again, I know. And it doesn't all have to play out. But it doesn't matter, man. Because if my AVAX does a 6x and I lose everything with Beam, for example, then I'm still relatively sitting at a 5x or whatever, right? So you should be able to afford to miss on one as well. But I don't think this list contains any misses. Otherwise, I wouldn't put it in it, of course. Then I have two more. Chainlink. Now, Chainlink is not a very exciting coin, but that's great whenever the market does go down, right? Chainlink has not wrecked people, right? The worst thing that happened to Chainlink for people in this cycle, the worst thing is that from top to bottom, they are down 67%. That could be the absolutely hypothetical worst case scenario if you bought the peak top and sold the peak low, right? Yeah. Like if this holds up that well, right, compared to what you see with all the rest, then sign me up for Link, right? And it's one of the most used coins out there, the biggest utility. We actually need Chainlink, right? I can say that for a lot of other coins, actually. And the last one is more low cap-ish, but in my opinion, still somewhat relative safe. And that's Trader Joe. And that's because I'm betting a little more on the AVAX ecosystem. So I'm not dividing it all 10% in every single coin. I will go a little less on AVAX because I'm also putting in Joe. It's both the AVAX ecosystem. It's basically buying AVAX with a little more risk reward, right? It's the leading DEX on AVAX. And I feel like, yeah, there is not another DEX on AVAX that I use or that's ever in the conversation. And the risk is that there will be in the future, of course. But for now, there isn't. So if AVAX takes off, then Joe takes off, right? But harder. And in the meantime, you can already buy your Joe tokens insanely cheap, stake them on the platform, and get a revenue share of the trading fees that they make whenever the platform is hot again. That's insane, right? Now, if you look at Joe from the current price to the cycle high, it's already an 8.5x. Let's say the market does tank to the point where I have set my hypothetical target, then that could take Joe to around 8 cents. If it then goes back there, then you make a 14x on Joe if it gets back without alt season. Again, guys, it sounds like, oh, you're so optimistic. Again, I think that this is actually pretty conservative, right? I keep in account that the market first goes down pretty hard and then just recovers without an alt season. Like, this is the most likely thing that at least is going to happen, in my opinion. So, yeah, then, hey, I can make the same kind of video like, hey, these altcoins are likely to 50x. And I can think about a lot of altcoins that are likely to 50x when the market goes up and goes into a small alt season. But then again, if it all doesn't play out, then these coins are going to completely drain you, right? And I just don't want to talk about that in the stage of the market as people are already wrecked, and I don't want to put gasoline on the fire. Let's stay safe. First, we don't need risk. You have to look at it like that. We don't need risk, okay? Maybe you do because you bought the top on some shit coins and you are now down 90% plus. Yeah, then you maybe should consider, okay, fuck it, all or nothing, right? But that's not my my strategy. So I it's not up to me to talk about that. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it here. If you have any good recommendations, like, hey, these are also pretty safe coins, let me know. Let me know in the comments. Let me know. Maybe we can fine-tune the list a little bit more. I mean, I like a Ronin. I like a Prime. I like a whatever that's in this list as well. This top 10 makes me feel most comfortable. So I want to wrap it up right here. Guys, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn the bell notification on. Oh, and soon I have something for you, which I can share here first. It's releasing soon. It's free. And this is gonna make you, I don't know how to describe it in a couple seconds. It's the best platform that I have ever used when it comes to tracking my crypto, but also to setting my goals, my buying goals, my selling goals, my DCA targets, making me think about my investments better. It's insane. All right. It's also there already in the Alpha Factory, so do check it out. There's a link down below, but I will mention it soon. So thanks for watching and take care.